G'day, Alucard J here. So here we are finally. After making and playing around with all this noise, we're going to actually make a terrain. So let's get straight into it. I've already imported just one terrain texture, so we're not looking at a default white terrain. And let's do that. Let's create a terrain. Beautiful. Let's give it that texture. Now we have a terrain all ready to have the height map added to it. So let's get down to the coding. First of all, we're going to need a reference to our terrain. So we can now have our terrain in the inspector. We need to create a function that will take this output noise and apply that float array to the height map. So first of all, we need to make this a global variable. So just like we have in our noise samples, we should really assign it here. And it's private. So now we have access to the flow. When we call generate, we generate our noise output. Let's create a whole nother function. Public void Now I've given it a separate function because we're going to add a second button here. So we can say generate, I called it with, didn't I? With terrain. So now we can call that function, generate with terrain. So I now should have two buttons in the inspector. As I said, that editor, begin horizontal and horizontal, everything will be within there. So I need to declare another horizontal field. There we go. So we have two buttons. We could even put a space in between them. There we go. Now we have two buttons. The second button, we'll call this generate with terrain. So first of all, we're going to do the same thing as we do in our generate. We're going to be generating our noise, generate our noise output array. Now that that's a global variable, we can access that. And then we're going to have to run it through our filter. Remember I said our XY values are flipped around for Unity's terrain. I don't know why they did it, but they did it. So first of all, we generate our noise, and then we have to say our output, our noise output equals utils filter flip axes our noise output. Okay, so now we have a 2D array, so I can say our terrain data, set heights, look at our parameters, going from 0, 0, and then our noise output. Now, we could have a problem here. If our size is not equal, save that first, everything saved. If our size is not equal to our terrain height map resolution, we're going to have problems. So we need to check before we assign that array to the height map. we're going to have to check if our size is equal to the height map resolution. So before we even do anything, if size is not equal to terrain data height map resolution, I'm going to tell the person, and then we're going to return. We're not going to do anything at all. Size is not equal to and we can even put that here. Data height map resolution so we should be able to test that out right now. So we have our filter example. Our mouse is still broken. Set that terrain. Save that. Warning about garbage collection. So if we hit generate with terrain now, it warns us the size is not equal to the terrain height map resolution, which is 513. But we change our size to 513. Now let's see what happens. There we go. And our height map has been applied to a very high terrain. We can just knock that down a bit. Let's say our height is 50. No, too low. 100. Okay, a little bit better. So if we have a look at that, yeah, we're on the X's to the right. And our noise has been applied to our terrain. So now, in edit mode, we can play around with all these values. Generate our texture first, or, that doesn't matter anymore, generate our texture first, or we could apply it directly to our height map. You see that it's definitely outputting, it's just the scale of the terrain. And turn that noise right down. Let's have a look at that. It's a bit more smoother, so we generate the terrain, getting far more smoother noise. There we have it, finally. Creating our noise, going through different filters, and creating a terrain. So, yeah, I hope this was helpful. I certainly had a lot of fun doing it, even though I'm a bit nervous. There's probably one more step we could include. After you're generating a terrain, if you wanted to use this texture as a mini-map, you could actually save this texture as well. I'm just going to put it out there. Let me know in the comment if you want me to do one more video showing how to save this texture asset so that you can use that texture as a mini-map for your generated terrain. Anyway, I hope you had fun. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.